to help with my friend. So
Yeah, no, you're good. I know who I'm starting with. I've known since
okay.
last week, and it was not Brina.
All right. Well, last week with the Whims of Fate, um, Erden tried to do more research, but got an H1 on that. Brianna tried to understand her book about the Merlins, and got that it was basically a list of Merlins going back to the time before the Celts had written history. Um,
Dancing
Idea
is the last one up.
Idea kept looking for an iron merchant, but found out that everyone there was sexist, except for the last person she decided to check, in which case that guy was racist.
I'll take it over the sexism.
It's true.
And it was justified racism because the last Amazon that was in his shop wrecked it.
I wonder what his reaction, like internal reaction, was to Idea's comment of that's like, oh, well, that's actually rather refreshing refusal. Goodbye.
Probably mostly confusion, just like, okay.
Thanks for not wrecking the shop.
Erden tried again before doing his research, only to find out that there was like no information on the subject. Then he went to go into the religion section. After catching up with Rada and Brina, they all decided to go get food. And dragging a day along with us. Tooth went to go get tacos. Brina and Idea went for food from home, and Raw and Erden went to get Saxon food. All of this was paid for by Erden.
Erden asked me to pick up some of the stuff from my outland for him.
We went back.
He's allowed to.
Went back to Erden's sister's place. Along the way, Tooth insinuated that Rada wasn't a midwife because we've never seen her assist in a delivery. Which everyone backed away from that could. Because you don't anger Mama Rada without consequences. Then we got to Dietland's place and we heard flirting in Druidic, which did not make Erden happy. The party spoke to each other in the different languages, but DeWitt got embarrassed and ran away hearing Erden's comment.
Because he spoke in Gaelic, or
Kimry.
Kimry, thank you. I'm like, not Gaelic, Kimry. Yeah, because he spoke in Kimry talking about flirting.
And after getting things somewhat explained, Dietland offered or suggested to teach Erden magic and druidic before getting a bucket of water.
And that is where we're going to start. She went to go get a bucket of water. Huh. Or not a bucket of water, just a bucket. Because you're going to create the water. Hopefully. We'll see if Erden's better at druidic magic than he was at wizard magic.
That's right.
Okay. So she brings the bucket over, sets it down. She's like, okay. First part is to make sure that we say this word correctly. Otherwise, it's going to be real funky. And I haven't actually made a druidic language, so we're just going to pretend like she's saying the word.
All right.
So this is going to require intelligence.
I should always intelligence.
because that's what it requires to learn things.
It's total of 18.
There's a reason I didn't disrespect intelligence when I didn't need it at all as a cleric.
Okay, yeah, so you're managing to get this word right. So she's like, okay, now that we know the word, you're saying it right. Erden, as you're saying this word, you feel this sort of like tingling in your fingertips. Kind of like when you've like sat on your ankle or something too long and it falls asleep, and then you have to get the blood flow back in. Feels kind of like that, and you're like, just kind of a weird feeling.
Weird to feel this in my fingers rather than my toes. Huh.
The tingling?
Yeah.
No, you feeling the tingling. That's a good sign. It means that the magic's hearing you.
Oh, that's what it means. Okay. I was worried for a second.
So it doesn't mean that your joints are halfway out of place. Noted.
It's all good. All right. So now we've got to get the proper hand motions with the words now, and it should get the water to appear in the bucket. Okay.
Okay.
So she's gonna teach you this fancy hand motion. We'll say it looks kind of like a teardrop. You know?
Okay.
So, while you're saying the word. So we'll do another intelligence check to see if we can get water to appear.
Can I throw in my ranks of actor on this?
Your ranks of actor on this.
Yeah, you know, it's a performance thing. You gotta make gotta do the whole.
Except
It's
you're
a bit
trying
of a
to,
performance, you know.
it, but you see, you're not trying to play to a crowd. You're trying to play to the ley lines. I don't know if this will be applicable.
Yeah, the ley lines are the crowds.
Once more with feeling, it applies to both.
What I will allow is give me your roll first, and then I'm gonna make a decision based on that.
Okay, because that's a 7.
Okay, I'm not gonna add your ranks, but what's gonna happen? So you do it, you flick it just wrong. Where's everybody sitting right now? Is anybody watching this, or are you all kind of doing your own thing?
I'm still
I
there.
mean,
Rada's watching from a safe distance.
Imagine Adea is probably somewhat intrigued by the whole thing. Like, we could be working on other things, but we've been doing lots of magic studying recently, and to see somebody else and do it, and we've had so many questions about deific and non-deific, and Adea's building her own stuff. Like, she's probably watching. Maybe not with her whole heart and soul like she usually works, but she's definitely paying attention.
Where did I want you to roll me a d4?
D4. Okay. That's a 2.
Don't tell me. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna make you do it again because I need you to wait for me to,
Oh, okay.
because I don't want to be biased on it. So.
You've been thinking about this for a week and you still don't have pre-generated tables for it?
Oh no, I just okay, roll again.
Okay. That's another 2.
Okay, I guess that works. So you do manage to get water to appear, and it kind of comes out like a spray from a hose, and it just hits your sister full on in the face, drenches her. Rest may get a little spattering. And by rest, I mean Tooth and Idea are probably the closest, so you probably get a little bit of spray off of it. Get some spray off of it too, Erden, because it's like hitting her full in the face and bouncing back at you a little bit. But she's drenched. So once you're done, like you stop waving your hand, you're like, oh.
Like, oh.
And she's got the yeah. Great job.
I am so
The
sorry
control's
about that.
not there, but I mean, you did create water. It doesn't seem to be disappearing back to where it came from, so pretty good in my book.
That was pretty cool.
You aim in the bucket next time.
I will definitely try harder. If there is next time.
I assume that internally you're just like, as siblings do.
Wait, why didn't we do this outside?
Because I thought you'd be able to get it in the bucket. I got it in the bucket the first time.
I'm pretty sure it's getting dark.
That too. Alright. Maybe we'll try again in the morning outside.
Actually, no, I think I'll try again now.
Okay.
Like, he'll just take the bucket and just, like, kind of, like, casually back out the door and just close it. Like, and,
It's flipping in and out again.
and he'll just, like, pull out the bright hearth and, like, lay it next to the bucket so he has full visibility.
Okay.
And then, try it again.
Oh, man. Okay, this time, now that you know what it feels like and you're got a pretty good feel, you're gonna do you're gonna do an Arcana check this time. Okay.
Oh boy, because that's so much better. It's 14.
That is better. Okay, so most of the spray is able to get into the bucket this time. A little bit bounces back and kind of sprays you. But you've got most of the water in the bucket.
Okay. Actually, while Erden's sitting next to the bucket, he'll actually cast create food and water. Like he'll
Okay.
empty out the bucket and then cast it just to see how that will work out.
Okay. Is that one that normally he can do?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least it's on the
Sorry,
list of paladin spells.
No, you're gonna. I never played Paladin, so that spell was memorized.
Actually, you don't have to. Paladins have access to every spell, technically.
That's true. Well, divine spells. Technical. Anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
He'll try and both feel the difference and see, like, if he can direct where the water is also created.
Okay. It's going to be much easier this time because it is something that, shockingly, a goddess of life can do without much issue. And probably in your past you've used this spell. You don't notice any tingling in your fingertips, but you feel like this surge of energy that goes through you, kind of like when you get a shiver down your spine, but it's not quite like a full-on shiver, but you can feel it move through you. It's not coming from you, it is going through you. Whereas the tingling seems to be coming and you are able to direct where the food and where this water's created. But you know this power's coming from someone else, and she's probably got better control.
Probably.
She's been doing this a lot longer. But you're able, I mean, and all of it goes into the bucket that's supposed to go in there. You're not getting any back spray or anything. That's really the differences that you're feeling.
Cool. He'll empty the bucket again and try create water again.
All right. Go for it.
Can't wait to slowly get modifiers to be better at this, because that's a 6.
You're like, okay, yeah, I got this. It's like you're excited. It's like that excited kid, and you just go, yeah, whoosh, and it bounces out of the bucket right in your face. It's like, oh. You're like, okay. I probably deserved that. It's like you did the hand movement too fast, and so it shot out like a rocket.
Yep. Arrogance is the beholding of the fools, or whatever. Whatever that saying is.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of exhaustion Ern is experiencing from casting all these?
Oh, good question. Because he is getting into a reserve he's not used to using. Let's see.
How many spell slots do you normally have?
Well, that depends. Do we count divinely given spell slots as spell slots, or?
Yeah. So all spell slots are going to be used the same. Because you can only handle so much that your god sends at you. Like, technically, you could use as much magic as your god if you're willing to take the exhaustion. Because they don't have, like, gods don't have spell slots. Just.
What level is the spell I'm working with?
1. I think. Let me double check. Internet, why you be slow? Yeah, it's a level 1.
Alright, well, checking real quick, because I don't think I wrote this down correctly. It's 4, that makes it 3. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you can upcast, so yeah. Ern unknowingly used up all his level 1 spell slots. Yay! And one of his level 2s.
So yeah, I mean, he can keep pushing it if he wants to. I will say, so if you used up on level 2, you will have noticed, like, before you did the level 2, you're like, like, you felt a bit of resistance from your body. Which is, you're like, oh, maybe I need to change the way I'm doing this. So, because spell slot is like an arbitrary thing, right? Think about it, about the amount of energy. You're like, I'm burning a lot of calories right now. Let's see. I think I burned through all my carbs. So you're noticing that there is an effect, and you're like, huh. Seems that regardless of what source of magic you're using, it's using from the same well of energy within you.
Aaron stands in front of this bucket for a few minutes, just trying to figure that one out. It's like, oh no, this is. I mean, I was fine with this earlier, but now I could just create water. I mean, this feels horrifically limiting.
Where's Taliesin when you need him?
Well, unfortunately, he's dead. But at least I have a library.
Who's supposed to say it?
All right. Anything else you want to do with that tonight?
Actually, Ern will actually like open the door, like poke his face in, and just say, "Hey, Rada, mind if I talk to you for a few moments?"
Sure.
I mean, if you're not, already comfortable and everything.
I am free for whatever it is you all need to talk with.
Yeah, I was hoping to do it out here.
I will stand up and go outside.
Okay, so surprisingly enough, throwing a bunch of water in a bucket is oddly inspiring. So I was thinking for a few moments. I was thinking, if this was a play, and I'm understanding how everything is working, then I have an idea to, I guess, help you get into the service of a deity. Is that the correct word?
I don't know, but I don't like the way this is going.
No, this is a great idea. Okay, so I've just
I'm
been
even
thinking.
more worried.
Okay, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna shelf this right here. I'm gonna shelf it for later for a different conversation that we're gonna have to have. But I'm too excited about this now. So I've basically been thinking. You have gained notice from several deities
Yes.
who are thinking about taking you on, but you don't have their attention yet. Now, the reason they've noticed you is because probably A, you've lost Artemis. Rest in pieces. And B, they only know how you are in search of Artemis. They don't know who you as Rada are. Like, how are they going to know that you are going to be a great fit for them if they don't know really who you are? So I was thinking, you should probably take the time to, go out and do things. Not worry about who may or may not choose you, or try and, I don't know, limit your options or something, but instead try and do something to actually get one of theirs attention. And not in a bad way, like I've successfully done.
Hey, what way are you
Don't
referring
worry.
to as, like, are you saying successfully as in getting the bad attention or successfully as in getting the good attention?
The bad attention.
And what would you suggest?
I don't know. What that this is something only you can do. What do you want to do? What can you do? I mean, I know you're a great midwife, but how recently have you done that? Genuinely. Like,
Not often enough.
Tooth, shut up.
or I don't know. There's not a lot of things. I don't even know a lot of things that you do. I know you're intimidating. I know you're great in a fight. I know you can do midwifing. I know you're generally the smartest person in the room, aside from Idea when she uses it. But I don't know. I want to see what you do. What do you do when there's literally nothing stopping you? What do you do first?
This is when Rada becomes the bad, isn't it?
I'm sorry, what?
This is the start of Big Bad Game.
Hmm.
When nothing's stopping you, what do? Try to take over the world! Watch way in the brain.
I think I would do mostly what I am doing now. Adventuring. It's part of the reason why I left Thanakia in the first place was to see the world. Probably also be putting more effort into finding out what happened to my parents. I made a promise to my older sister to do that while I was away. And until recently, I have forgotten about that promise. The problem with that, however, is that I only know that my parents went to the human world when I was 5. And I haven't heard from them since. Not the actual words, but how I imagine they would sound like. Yeah. Suppose if you want to know more, I was also. You remember how the army in the Kimberley camp was? Most of them weren't actual soldiers, they were peasantry that were
Mhm.
volunteering their time and efforts. Back home, I was in a similar position. At the time, there was no reason for it other than people were getting paranoid that things were too quiet.
Hmm.
And at least my aunt and I figured knowing how to fight would be, at least serve the family. That is where I got
And you
my
want
training.
Mhm.
That is how I got my
and you want
combat
to
abilities.
go back and help them?
My family, at least as far as I'm aware, are safe. My brother, we don't know where he is. Don't know where my parents are. We know my sister went to wherever your goddess took them. Presumably, my aunt is there with Sim. Suppose another thing I could do is go out and look for Tong myself to make amends. But I think while we are here, I could at the very least try to look into things that I know she was a part of. To learn more about her. I don't know what else to say.
Okay. I know you're not the type of person to just to go down to the local bar and get a few drinks and see what happens. So I'll happily help you while you're trying to learn all that stuff.
Perhaps we can figure out why she hated you on principle.
And yeah, something to do with paladins.
I think so too.
And becomes a druid, it won't matter. It's gonna be a Draladin.
Let's just hope that Tooth doesn't try to pull her out of his bag again.
I mean,
one time. Let it go.
that would expedite your apology.
Would it, or would it make her more resentful for being dragged from whatever it is she is doing?
Well, I mean, I don't know if she would make the distinction, but if you didn't ask Tooth, then technically she shouldn't resent you for that. But that's neither here nor there.
Rada will put her hand onto Erden's shoulder and say, Erden, I view you like a battle brother. I thank you for your help, and I will offer you assistance in return, should you need it. Was there anything else that you needed from me? Or wanted
No,
to
that was it.
suggest? Rada will go back inside.
And Ern will follow.
Anything else for tonight?
Oh.
Okay.
No.
If that is the case, everyone
When
will.
Rada
Huh?
and when Rada and Erden are finished, Adea may take the opportunity to finally come talk to Rada since we're having important conversations with Rada. Serious conversations with Rada.
Okay. Like, yo, you got time for me too?
Basically.
Welcome to the role play session.
Are we just going to have a queue of people to speak with me?
I mean, we're long overdue. So if you've got a moment, we need to talk.
How private?
I mean, I think you probably prefer private. We can make a scene if you want.
I've read the Book of Mormon. I've read the Old Testament and the New Testament.
It's up to you, Idea.
And studied competing on
I'm not sure what they're.
Well, then we can step outside and talk, and
I need this
maybe we won't disturb people, or maybe they'll decide they want to show. I don't know. That's not what I really care about here.
Rada will turn around and go back outside.
Or it's like probably like halfway through class, just like opens it again, just like
Have fun.
study on your enemies.
Alright, you head outside.
Alrighty.
You're not supposed to judge.
So about our time in the glass aisle.
It's not your job to judge.
What you did while I was without my memories was unacceptable.
But my big thing is like a lot of my
Okay.
morals more with others. Like nice about it. And
I get that I'm not always the most focused and that I could be doing better. I'm working on it right now, but
Good.
to tie me up and drag me around is not okay.
expected of you.
Let me ask you this, Idea. Do you think that I would do that under normal circumstances?
And it's there's some, but it's more so of a
Before, it'd be hard to say. Without my memories, I didn't know anything better.
Let us go with
I
the
have reason to believe and
view.
reason not to believe.
Let us go with the view of hindsight.
they can always give
Well, hindsight says that you're willing to pull that sort of nonsense, so.
In excruciating circumstances.
Basically every conflict.
Need I remind you?
Is really
We
intertwined.
were under. Well,
And so it's really easy for us to bring him in conversation because it's like, yeah, it's
that
we
we were all under
we
significant
each might
amounts of
but
stress.
because we were a 2 hour delay for
And being the
the
leader of this party, that
and
put all
like
the more pressure onto me.
and like
And it wasn't helpful
Eight
that everyone was looking to me to fix.
so you have your
Issues.
main congregation group, smaller group. Got it. Yep.
So
Ward
I was
branches in
this.
smaller
I
ward,
was not
but
in the best of mind,
then you have the
and
one other
did
state. You actually have state
what
conference.
I thought was
Ward
best
meet-
for the
meetings with
circumstance.
other ward branches in our general area.
I know
It's
fully
normally
well
open to, like
that
in Great Falls. My
you
place was
would
3
not
to 9 hours.
like it, but I also felt that more issues would be created from just letting you be.
I wasn't aware we had a designated leader, but the actions you took led to the issues that followed. No one should put up with the treatment that I had while we were there. So I tried to leave.
I realize that.
if you want to ask, you can submit questions that he'll answer during. And so I'm looking forward to it.
Do you have a figure relative to the book? Because I know you have all the New Testament, right, with the Book of Mormon.
We'll just play New Testament and the Book of Mormon.
So it's all.
Because we also have the Doctrine and Covenants, which is revelation that was.
Obviously, I'm still here. We're still traveling together, but I want to make it very clear that that will not be accepted again. The good news is it's given me a little bit of a motivation, a reason to be better and understand why I should be more than just following my whims and fancies. Something to stand for. That's the word I'm looking for. This is no way to get to it. So I've said my piece. I think I've made myself clear.
Yes, you have. And I will hope that we do not encounter a situation where I am forced to make that choice again.
No, actually, one of our.
You and me both.
Immediately absent.
Yeah, he's actually Catholic, and so we've had good conversations.
Does anyone else want to have a private conversation with me, or are we all done with private conversations with the leader of the party?
I mean, you and I can talk about stuff in private.
It's not a word.
I just don't know if it's stuff you actually want to talk about.
We're really glad you don't.
How necessary is it?
No, absolutely none of it is necessary at this point in time, but if you ever have a mental breakdown, I will pull it out of my back pocket.
Is this going to be something that will become an issue later down the road?
And then when they came through Ellis Island for obvious reasons and more early stories.
Ah.
You know,
It's not the most obnoxious.
No, it's not.
Spell it.
It just depends on how long I can hold out on my curiosity about it. So far, I'm doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
just like that. Yeah.
Your curiosity is a dangerous thing. Get out here.
What have they done?
That and chaos the answer.
No wonder.
Most of the time that's
I've been to Oreos. Why?
for me. I'm like,
What?
most like people.
Dinosaur cookies, Megan, they're chocolate.
We have
I'll eat them.
I call them.
I don't like them.
Um,
I don't like the chocolate.
and
I
Makes me
didn't even
sad.
really hate chocolate flavor.
no,
Either. Now I'm sad. My taste burnt.
We're people tongue.
So sad.
He talks a lot.
Okay,
He also plays
anything else for tonight?
husband and pretty much like their whole family, like the rest of the.
how many crates of bulk do I?
I'll take that as a no. So everyone's gonna go to sleep. Rada.
Can I get my notes caught up, please? I can't talk and write notes. This is why I don't do notes as a DM.
Rada, you get to sleep. You're dreaming away. When you're having a nice, I don't know, what does Rada dream about? Normally.
Not the same thing that Oscar dreams about.
That's a given. Rada wasn't kidnapped as a child and tortured.
At least Rada doesn't pull other people into her dreams.
I'm sorry, who was tortured as a child?
My proto-mammal character from the space D&D.
Ah.
She had a gift. And the pirates wanted to use, well, they weren't really pirates, they were mercenaries. They wanted to use her gift. Anyway, so you're having a nice normal dream when it switches and you find yourself underwater. You're not having any problems
Excuse me.
breathing. Megan, you do not hear that in your dream.
Just immediate tooth interrupt.
Short
You're now
intermission.
sharing a dream space. Congratulations.
You're underwater. It seems to be in the ocean. You are not drowning or anything. So not bad. You seem to be in a pod, herd, you're not sure what to call them, of hippocampi. Swimming around, having a good old time. And you seem to be in maybe towards the bottom of the ocean. There's lots of coral reefs. It's very colorful down here. Lots of colorful fish. There's a couple of sea turtles, jellyfish. And then you see this guy sitting on a rock, kind of enjoying himself. He's leaning back, relaxed as can be. And he just kind of sits up, notices you, and he goes, it's about time you showed up. I'm meaning to talk to you, Rada.
Well, you seem to be know who I am, but I am at a loss as to who you are.
I'm hurt. I have so much to. Sorry, that's very distracting.
Well, I suppose I should say, should I make a religion check to see who this guy is?
You can, yeah. I'm hurt. And here I thought that we could be considered kin, almost.
Well, let's see. So religion. I forgot she has proficiency in religion. That's a 21.
It is a thing that clerics do, having proficiency in religion.
We got a guy underwater who knows your name. He is wearing something akin to Roman dress, with maybe a little bit older style, almost Greek, but not quite. And go away. Oops, that's not what I want. And he has. You finally notice at his feet by this rock that there is a fishing spear and a trident. And it clicks together, and you're like, this is not Poseidon. Nope. Neptune.
Didn't we have a brief scuffle with him?
You
That
did.
was Triton.
You had Triton. Triton had a scuffle with you.
Wait. Okay, as it was Neptune, correct?
Yes.
Wait. Forgive my earlier comments. I was not necessarily expecting to meet a Roman deity, Lord Neptune.
I know. Hold the applause. We're great. Now, for the reason that I am coming to you, you are exceptional in many ways. Exceptional loyalty, exceptional skills, exceptionally attractive.
They still exist. Sorry.
He's Roman. What do you expect?
Wait, what did Tiberius do now?
Not Tiberius.
We're
Rada's
having a
dreaming.
drug test. You've missed the last 40 minutes. It was all important. And I'm trying to listen, and there's two different conversations going, and I've been up since 1:30 in the morning.
Oof.
Well, I've been up that since then.
Alright.
Don't you sleep?
Sometimes. It's not like I try to get up that early, but
Sleep is for the weary.
You're as bad as Megan.
No, what's bad is when I stay up too late reading because I don't have self-control over that yet. And I get into bed and he's getting up because he's awake.
Speaking of going to bed, I should probably head to bed.
Hi, Megan.
Uh,
I apologize.
At the comment of being called attractive, Rada gets nervous.
I think that you would be an exceptional cleric of mine.
Okay.
I'll just stick with her then. If we go anywhere. Okay.
I would be honored. It's usually the deities that choose the cleric. I would have no choice in the matter. I was offered by the Dagda, but he allowed me the choice of accepting.
The Dagda? Hmm. He offered you the choice. Of course he did. Pompous, arrogant. But I think I'm the better choice here. Just saying. You know, top tier of the Pantheon. I don't think we're going anywhere anytime soon, unlike my poor counterpart who, let's just say, dried up.
Brand loyalty.
The Dagda would want you to believe that he is somehow better by giving you free will. But really, do you really need free choice? I mean, come on. Don't you think the deities know better? Isn't that why you worship us?
Yes.
She's like, I'm afraid to say no.
Well, so that here's the thing is that she's linking the concept of free will to Athenian democracy, which she has issues with. So she's kind of like, yes, I agree with you on most of the way. Maybe not necessarily the exact words you're saying, but
Um,
I'm also really scared at the moment.
I feel very trapped by my own acceptance of this of the facts of this situation.
oh, oh man. Rada, do you think you'd have any outward discomfort? Like, as you're asleep, would your body be physically reacting to any of this?
I don't think so. She definitely would not be making the motion of swimming.
Any noises, maybe?
Or maybe like,
Talking aloud?
or like slight subtle movements.
Perhaps
Do centaurs gallop in their sleep?
in the dreams, yes. in their bodies? No, because that would be dangerous. Yeah, you go to sleep, and next thing you know, when you wake up, you're far like a mile away from where you were. Uh, she probably would at least utter some words. It probably wouldn't be a lot, but if you're asking for the effect of the other party members, I think perhaps they might hear something if they have a high enough passive when they're asleep.
Or if it's
Cool.
early in the night, Adea might still be awake.
Oh, that's true. Depends on how fast Rada fell asleep. It's easiest for gods to contact you if, you've released all inhibitions and you're, like, not really focused on any one thing. Hence, sleep. That's why so many prophets dream. Makes sense, right? Opens you up. What is everybody's passive perception?
18.
15.
Mine is 11, but let me double check. 11.
Okay. Now this is going to be a weird one. Passive intelligence.
15, as high as it gets.
Wait, passive intelligence.
So it'll work the same way as your passive wisdom.
And plus your int modifier.
So 10 for either wisdom or intelligence. For me. Okay.
What about you?
I guess it's an 11.
Hold on. Huh. So I will say, both Erden and Idea, you can hear Rada moaning, talking. You're not entirely sure. She's making noise. She doesn't usually do that in her sleep.
Muttering, maybe?
Yeah. So you do hear her. It's up to you whether you want to do anything about it. Or just try and roll over and go back to sleep. Which,
There are
honestly,
no other
Pepper
outward
would-
manifestations of power.
huh?
There are no other outward manifestations of power.
Not unless you actively seek to see if there is.
Well,
Erden, upon seeing this rather strange thing that Rod appears to be doing, and obviously it being so friggin' dark, he probably doesn't see that much anyways. Like, It's kind of like sitting there thinking about, wait a minute, she's trying to get a nighttime deity again, so maybe they just show up around this time? Oh, that's a great idea. Divine sense.
Adea is trying to look to see if there's anything else strange going on before she goes.
You can go ahead and give me an active perception. Erden, your spidey sense is tingling. There's divine power coming from around Rada.
Still an 18.
It doesn't seem like there's anything else going on. Other than you can hear Erden kind of rolling over like, what's
This
going
guy's
on?
like slaying his head over, say, still half asleep.
In divine sense, in that weird, misty interim of sleep.
I feel like having something actually show up with divine sense while you're still half asleep is like somebody turning a bright light on right as you wake up.
No,
It
hasn't Adea
kind of
had
feel
it?
like
Hasn't Erden ever had his Angel Moroni experience?
No.
I guess I'm not sleeping tonight. Or the next night.
We're going to have this dream 3 times.
In a row. Matter of hours.
If there's any
And
other
it's going to add
outliers,
more each time.
directions become
Oh, those are the
Right.
fun dreams.
So yeah, it's kind of like a, gong going off in your head, like, yeah. Some. And for Adea, she's just seeing a lot of people hearing a lot of people moaning, hearing Erden roll over. Dietland, Tooth, and Tooth heard it. Tooth rolled over and said, "Shut up." Sleep. But Dietland and Brina did not respond. They are still very much out. They need their beauty sleep.
Or Brina's just a deep sleeper like I am.
It could be that both Dietland and Brina are just farther away from Rada.
That too.
Well, Nadea might not have been as asleep as everyone else, because she tends to be the last one to go to bed. She's getting better about being way too late, but that doesn't mean she doesn't still go to bed late.
Have you caught up on your writing?
The Ern will kind of like half drag himself over. It's like, I really want to go back to bed, but this is kind of cool. So I'm going to hold off for another few minutes. Like, I'm going to hold on to like these last wisps in the back of my head. Like, I can still feel it back there. It's like, kind of like wave his hand in there a little bit and say like, what kind of deific power am I kind of feeling in here? Because I've been around a couple of them. I should be able to tell, how powerful they are or something.
Okay. So what I want you to do for that is I want you to do a religion check. See if you can feel this field. Can you suss out the field?
That's not too bad. It's legend since 14.
It does not feel evil. So that's good. Not a bad deity. It's probably not a death deity.
All right, step in the right direction.
Nadea's about to wave it off when she gets a brilliant idea.
Oh no.
Okay.
She's like, wait, I was studying a spell that I don't know if she's scared or not, or what exactly is going on, but what she's doing is abnormal. Sometimes people talk in their sleep because they're frightened. I have a spell for this.
Oh no.
Nadea will attempt to cast heroism on Rada.
Okay.
Concentration for up to 1 minute. A willing creature you touch is imbued with bravery. Until the spell ends, the creature is immune to being frightened and gains temporary hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier at the start of each of its turns. When the spell ends, the target loses any remaining temporary hit points from this spell. Will it do anything? Probably not. Today is going to try not to, wake Rada by touching her, but I mean, I don't know how sensitive Rada is to these things. But Adea's pretty sure she's making the situation better. That might not be true, but
Is it a touch spell?
Okay.
apparently. I'm kind of surprised that it is, but it is.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. Okay. So you have to find the best way to touch her without waking her, if that's your intention. And then because
Right,
you're still
wait.
getting used to these types of spells, I want you to do an Arcana check. Which will mostly affect how she's gonna be feeling it, and less how you're casting it or anything like that.
Yeah, this isn't one she's cast before, so I got a 21 on the Arcana.
So you're still listening to Neptune, who seems to just be babbling at this point, very much engrossed in himself. And you have this weird feeling that, like, this warmth in your chest, and you're like, you recognize magic. You know it's magic, and you're like, but this isn't. It's not deific magic. It's not coming from him. He's not doing anything to you. So you're just kind of like, what?
And yet and also somehow I've lost my nervousness about being around this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
And you feel just arbitrarily how many hit points?
Oh,
how many 10th hit points was it?
Equal to my spellcasting modifier, which appears to be a +8.
Arbitrarily, you feel like eight points better than normal.
she's going to look around in the dream, looking for the source of this, knowing that it's probably not going to do anything because she knows she's probably asleep.
You suddenly realize it's quiet. You look around. Are you even listening to me? What are you looking for? What are you doing? I am important here. I am talking to you. I am trying to reach you, and you're ignoring me.
Not on purpose. Someone cast a spell on me.
Well, let me just take care of them. I'll be right back. So it seems to have worked. You felt the magic. It's, Erden's gotten up and he's doing something weird, but whatever.
Damn, what are you doing?
You were interrupting my talk. So Neptune has appeared in between you two. You can choose to try and figure out who he is, but he has just appeared, and he looks very grumpy. He's got his arms folded. Now let's see. Which one of you cast the spell? And he turns to look at Idea.
Feeling that this is going to be worse because she's an Amazon.
Idea's kind of looking at him and like, there's two things going through her mind. One, this guy just randomly showed up. Did I see where he came from? I'm kind of imagining this like sprang from Rada, like who was it? Athena from Zeus's head.
He just like appeared out of thin air. He's got a briny scent that's kind of come along with him too.
That's my first thought. Idea's like, was this stranger than I thought it was? Because I didn't do anything that powerful. And the second one is looking at him like, I swear I know you, but I'm not sure that I know you.
Now, I need you to not interrupt conversations. It's rude. So, I need you to go to sleep. And I need you to make a constitution save. If you can fight off the sleep he is going to put on you.
But we've already established the Constitution is my dump stat. Although I do have some modifiers. Now that's a 9.
Well, you're also within like 30 feet of Erden.
Oh yeah! I get Erden advantage.
And Erden's conscious.
Take Erden advantage.
Sort of.
Well, Wait, no, it's
What?
it's not advantage. You add his charisma mod.
Oh, just his mod.
Yeah, if it's a saving throw, yes. Wait, no. Wait.
Yeah.
He's casting a magic spell, right?
Yes.
Is it advantage or is it mod?
It's not a damaging spell. Never mind. Yeah, only protection counts. So.
What's your mod?
It's a. Oh, my spellcasting modifier.
Your charisma mod.
Charisma.
Oh, 5.
So
Okay, that brings
goes
my
to
9 up to a
14.
14 then.
14. No, that's not good enough.
Respectable but not godly.
You're gonna have to fight him off. So basically, he says, "Go to sleep," and a day you're just like, "Yeah," and you're just out
Punk.
pretty much dreamless sleep. He turns to you, Erden. Are you going to interrupt?
No, I'm good.
All right, go back to bed.
Okay.
He'll vanish.
Okay,
Now he's
what I
dead.
want to do, what I really want to do, while these now, I want to check Kadea to see if she has any iron on her whatsoever.
On her person?
Yes.
Probably.
I would think so. Yeah.
I'm out of it. That's why I went shopping.
Oh, I thought she had just a little bit. No.
Probably some straps or her armor, but
How about silver powder?
I don't think she has powder, but she has a few coins, I think. She didn't use them all.
yes, that is true.
Well, I want to cast the spell Magic Circle. So I'm wondering if I could throw down a few arrowheads and silver coins to get this to work.
I don't see why not. Be creative.
Okay. Because it creates a 10-foot radius, 20-foot cylinder.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to select the creature as celestial, or a godlike being,
Okay.
and to make sure they cannot enter the circle. A literally auto eject from the area.
What was the name of
Okay.
Because I also got a 19 on my religion check to see if I recognize the guy.
Yeah, you know who he is. You're like, oh, you're one of them. Mm. Mm.
Yeah, I met your son. I didn't like him.
I'm gonna say, because you know who it is, you're like, yeah, Rada's not gonna like you either. Leave her alone.
Him and Rod can do things, I guess, for a little bit because it takes a few seconds, but yeah, that's why I want her to start doing like, okay, this is happening now. Great.
Yeah, you're doing that. So he pops back, Rada, just like, your friends are very nosy. You may want some new ones. Amazons, I'm telling you. So problematic.
Heroism died as soon as Adea fell asleep because concentration.
Mm-hmm.
She
No.
certainly has been bothersome a few times.
About you becoming a cleric. So, all I ask is that you come when I call. That's all. And I don't do it very often. Mostly just for, minor family things. And aside from that, you can do whatever you like, as long as you help protect the sea. I'll let you keep any of the cool stuff you want as long as it's within my power. And I mean, top tier god here. I got lots of power. And I will help you find your pet. And as he's saying parents, he gets yoinked quite violently. Rada, because of the way he's ejected, you wake up. It's very violent. It's just like being ripped from your mind. And you're startled awake.
Yeah, so imagine Rada probably like sleeps like probably something like this, like
Accent.
because of
Up
her
against
body.
the wall. Yeah.
Art of an accident.
Morning. Or I guess it's still evening, but still.
The day is probably crumpled over in a way that looks very unnatural and uncomfortable, but somehow she's asleep, and it doesn't look like she fell asleep.
You know,
It wasn't
Ern's like
place.
trying to adjust you while keeping concentration on his spell. Like, okay, I'm gonna try and move this arm so it's out from underneath your back and try and like check your pulse.
She's still alive. Okay, she's breathing. Her heart's beating. It's fine. We're good. I won't even make you do a medicine check because it's like she's so big that like you can see her chest moving. And you're like, okay, she's good. It's not like 2, 3. You're like, no, he's good.
Okay, first off, what did she do? Secondly, what did you do?
I'm not sure what she did. She looked like she had a very clever idea on her face. And she touched you, and then what's his name? The C whatever came out and just basically sent her to sleep. And then I recognized the guy, and even I, who can't remember anything about deities, knows that he was probably a very bad choice in several regards. So I thought you might want to, end your unsolicited, I guess, agreement to end. So yeah, I got rid of him. I don't know if he'll return after you go back to sleep, but
Congratulations, we now can't go out to sea unless you want to bargain with your 2 deities.
you do realize I do pray to the Lady of the Lake every time we go out to sea now, right? Like,
It's okay.
Just make sure that not that I don't have faith in your faith, then the gods are fickle.
no, I get it. It's just I'd rather deal with their pettiness than you being tied to something you genuinely don't want to deal with.
Well, I will say this. You said I needed to get new friends.
Do you agree with him?
At all.
Initially, the answer was no. Now I'm beginning to second guess.
My apologies. I'll never do this again.
I'm not saying never do it again. I'm just saying be cautious next time you do this. Use some caution. Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome.
This moment, you hear some movement from the bed, and Deep looks at someone. Why are you guys awake? What are you
Divine
doing?
intervention.
Divine. Was there a god in my house?
Like, you could probably see, like, the symbols of a magic circle literally on the ground.
What did you do to my floor?
It'll disappear in an hour.
Disappear in an hour completely, or disappear like the dye that you dumped into my clothing bucket when we were supposed to be washing laundry?
The first one. Yes, I think so. I haven't cast this before, actually. I wouldn't even know if it would work.
Please
I-
through this.
I imagine Erden's probably arranged Adea so that she's still crumpled, but it looks, at least it doesn't look like she's sleeping with her back literally centered on the desk. Like she's at least not completely.
Oh no, he's probably like put
Kinda
it
crumpled.
into the recovery position.
Okay, this is not the point I was trying to make, but this is another reason to be more cautious in the future.
Too tired for this.
Yep.
You can go back to bed, it's fine. So how would you like me to proceed in the future?
I don't know, just use more caution.
I'll go to the library tomorrow and see if there's some spell that talks about dream discussion or something.
With that, Rada at least lies back down to go to sleep, but probably doesn't go to sleep for another 9 minutes.
Rita just out, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I suspect that's the case for Adea for a while at this point. God puts you to sleep, then.
Something exciting happens this night, so next morning.
So the people that weren't woken up by the experience last night would notice the Rada's a bit frazzled.
Anna, are you okay? Not sleep well?
No, for some reason they decided to wake up last night and make an anti-deity net in my living room.
Oh, did the deity arrive?
I
Yep.
feel like
Apparently.
somebody dropped a hammer on the anvil next to my head.
Ugh.
And my back hurts.
I will say for you, Idea, your waking up is very sudden because you were like magically knocked out. So it's just kind of like, it's not the slow, oh, I can hear things. It's just like awake. So yeah, it's very like just disorienting because it was dark when you fell asleep. Now it is not. The voices seem extra loud today, like you have a hangover.
What?
It's probably something Adea's tried to avoid to this point. So it probably is extra bad. She's like, ah.
Like, oh, that wasn't fun.
The good news is I think the spell worked. I
Idea,
think I accidentally drew the ire of a god, but
Idea, speaking of which, what spell did you cast on me?
heroism. I wasn't quite sure if you were afraid or just needed something extra to push you through. If it would do nothing, but I figured it couldn't hurt. Certainly it could.
Well,
Put me in here.
well, I will say this, that, you definitely distracted me from the conversation which made said deity angry.
Which deity was it?
Neptune?
Wait, isn't that related to Triton, who we fought?
Yes.
Caitlin just drops and she's like, I'm sorry, you fought Triton?
No,
We don't
we
suppose
argued
so.
with him.
Even better. That's a very one-sided argument.
Brina's still like wiping a little bit of rubbing a little bit of sleep from her eyes. Like, Deetland, we really don't do well with boats. I'm sorry to tell you, but okay. So, Rada, are you okay? I mean, I can't imagine Neptune would be the very pleasant visit.
No, and it only got better after Adea cast heroism, which distracted me from the conversation. And the Greco-Roman pantheon isn't known for their selflessness.
Do they have any?
I elect to not answer that question.
Okay. Well, is there anything I can do to help?
To have the selflessness of all of their followers. Not the gods having the selflessness, just they have selfless individuals that follow them.
No, he was not happy to be interrupted.
That they're not all selfless.
Yeah, what's another pissed off deity when you already have a list?
They just kind of like look at you with their head cocked, as like.
I mean, I suppose there are worse.
That was definitely a new one. I mean, I suppose Hephaestus at one time was like, go help, but he wasn't really angry at me.
Yes, but now it means that boats really aren't in our future, unless one can convince the Lady of the Lake and Rhiannon to intervene on our behalf.
You're telling me I'm gonna have to pay the abhorrent iron prices here? We can't go back to the Isles?
No, we can. We have better luck not under our own power, though.
Yeah.
You could always fly.
What?
Why?
We did that with Frere once. That was amazing.
Yeah.
You flew with Frere?
He's really nice.
I have some of his notes on magic that I wrote in the margins of this book.
Yeah, I'm still upset I didn't get his autograph.
Hey, do we just want to list off the deities that we have personally encountered?
No, it's too early for that. Can we do that after breakfast? Maybe a different crisis?
Well, I hope there's not another crisis. Breakfast sounds.
Rada looks at Brina like, we're adventurers, we're going to get into a crisis, whether we want to or not.
So can we avoid one before breakfast?
Let's find out. I'll start making toast.
While you are making toast, Erden, you feel this faint rustling of air near your ear, and then a familiar voice goes, "Where are you? Are you dead? Did you die? What happened?" It's Gorlois.
Alex just stops immediately everything he's doing.
Hey, that's for making toast.
Okay.
He does this.
Has to like think for a few seconds.
Brina like turns to Neil and is like, shh, he's probably hearing. That's just
Hearing things? You know, it's a sign of insanity.
It depends on what the hearing things is. It could be sending. It could also be the druid powers that we have witnessed.
Yeah, this could be one of our friends in the house. It's fine.
Okay.
Like a sending.
Ern will specifically respond. Sent back into Otherworld. Currently at large library. How are things with you? How long since you've known we're gone? I think that should work.
Well, it works
Okay.
if it's works like normal sending. But we have encountered instances where Igraine has said that she couldn't send messages back to Gorlos because she's not an air druid.
That's true.
Aaron's kind of just thinking, okay, how much of a... It took 2 weeks for us to get there, so are we dealing with normal travel time? Or has a lot of time gone by? Because time always seems to be slipping into the future when we go back to Earth.
But on top of that, how long does it take wind to travel all the way to the other world? All the way to you.
I mean, depending on if he's right next to a portal, then it shouldn't take that long at all, right?
The best case scenario is we've got the jet stream going straight into a portal to our location.
So obviously we need the favor of a wind deity.
I will say, you're gonna have very little luck with the jet stream thing because the jet stream doesn't tend to go near the equator. Not unless the ice caps are melting and everything's getting all wobbly.
I
Yeah,
see. This is
don't
not
things
first class
circulate in the equator?
airmail.
Well, the jet streams are at your poles, and they circle your poles. And when the ice starts to melt, they get wobbly, and so they go further, which is why we're getting snow in Texas right now. Instead of, in... Well, I guess they're getting snow in Montana right now, but, like, Utah's not had a lot. Normally we do.
Got a warning that said that the Department of Transportation is recommending not traveling in Bozeman right now.
You know,
No.
Jasmine texted
Here.
this morning and she sent me a Snapchat. She goes, "Why do I live here?" And I was like, "I don't know. It was almost 70 here yesterday, so you could always just be here." She was like, "That's messed up." Yeah. Then it was cold today. It was almost 70 yesterday, and then we had like an Arctic wind come in. And I was like, okay, this is unpleasant. Anyway, jet stream, not likely. Does it mean that there aren't other air currents that could travel north to south and through some strong magnetic fields? Who knows? Maybe he can use solar winds. Not the
I
same
mean,
thing.
couldn't they use the same winds as hurricanes use? Because they always travel away from the equator.
Yeah. Good. My takeaway.
Just imagining now. Guys, there's a tornado coming our way. Ah, it was awaiting a message from Gorlois.
Well, you see,
like spinning air that's like, hey, where? Have you? Like has to come around.
well, you see, Ernan's response it first has to go up first because we're close to the equator, and air at the equator goes up first.
And then it will sink back down.
Then it has to come down the Hadley cell.
Hot air balloons. That's how we're delivering messages.
No, we're using magnetic lines. It's instantaneous. Hand wave.
A few moments later, you'll hear, "Oh yeah, You can't respond. Crap.
One day he'll remember that.
Are we supposed to be contacting somebody?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Ern to turn around and say, Rada, you need to learn. You need to get a new deity fast so you can use sending.
I need you to become friends with a wind deity.
I've lost sending. I don't have it anymore. No.
No.
It's like
And I
one of
never
the spells
had
that you
it
had
in the first
prepared.
place.
It's time, Idea, for you to invent the why can't I remember what it is?
Sending stone?
No. Before the
I do
telephone.
have an infuse. I
Telegraph?
do have an infusion for sending stones, though.
Yes,
But
you do.
he needs the other half of it.
So,
You're talking about telegraph?
yes, telegraph. Thank you. You need to invent the telegraph so we can use electrical impulses.
Unless, of course, Ern just has is a druidic flavor is wind.
We are alive. Stop. How are things
Okay, I
there?
have a brilliant
Stop.
idea, but first, if I have 2 rocks, how do I get one of them to
You can be like,
Gorlois?
I know I can do druid magic now. What kind am I? That would be freaking hilarious if you ended up being wind and you're like, hey, I can send back. We're alive.
Like, that's why Erden said something back, just to see, wait a minute, if I've already started carving this, can I just do this? It'll just work?
Apparently not. So I think that's how that works.
How did that mail system work?
Well, Gorlois is worried about us.
Who's Gorlois?
Can you send a letter through the magic mail?
He's a
I did. You
duke?
had to have a piece of where you were sending.
I think he's a duke. I can't remember anymore. I think he's a duke in the
He's a duke in Britannia.
I don't even Britannia, sure.
I think he's was it Damnonii or Domnonii?
Tooth will speak up. Damnonia. The Damnonia died a long time ago. I actually think
it's a lovely wife and two little kids.
What was that?
Oh, I was saying this is Brina as she's like taken over making the toast from Airden so that he can focus on what he's doing. It's like Gorlos is very nice. He has a lovely wife and two very cute little kids. But at the same time, they're also in a war there, so I didn't get to see them very often.
That's
We
unfortunate.
were helping with the war, or at least trying to.
Do you need to get back to help?
Most
Yes.
likely, yeah.
Eventually.
How soon? Because Divith knows of a portal. We'll probably get you back there.
Like, just to the human world?
Yeah.
Can you set its destination?
I mean, all the portals are kind of set up where they're set. I think that this portal goes back to, he said Albion.
That sounds fantastic.
That sounds perfect.
I need more iron? I think somebody wants to get paid from the army.
That would be Tom.
All of us,
I
but
need more
no,
iron,
it's
and we
not.
can talk to Gorlois. And I don't know how fast that magic mail is.
Well, we all want to be paid eventually, but Tong was the one that wanted to be paid the most. So I think that point is moot now, unless someone wants to take her share.
Taking her chair? That's rude.
That feels like a great way to get injured.
Well, we could hold it
You're
on
just gonna
her
flare
behalf.
it too. Don't even think about it.
You could always send it to her address. It's not like there isn't somebody there to pick it up.
That's easy.
Just a thought.
Wait,
That
the
is-
mail system uses addresses?
What do you think the address is for?
Sorry, I only learned how to send letters recently. Tom taught me.
I mean, that's fair because in your culture, they don't have very far to go. You're all on the same island. But, I mean,
Makes two of us.
we lived in a very fancy neighborhood with addresses and mailboxes. Have you forgotten?
I never paid attention.
Mailbox. Will
We
Brina
never
have
got
any
the mail.
concept of what a mailbox is?
Yeah, I didn't really have to do a lot of things.
You did have to do a lot of things. You opted not to do a lot of things.
Yeah, but they let me get away with it.
Would Brina have any concept of what a mailbox is?
You can kind of infer that since you've kind of learned what mail, it's probably a box in which mail is kept.
What do mailboxes look like?
I don't know. They
box.
kind of.
Well, obviously a box. But are they like decorated or just a box?
Some of them are. Some of them they'll put their like family name on it so that you know it's theirs. Some of them will have just the address.
Family is much, much better. Names are important. Toast, everybody. Brina like tries to carry over this plate full of toast to the table.
Someone will come over and like help you so that you don't like spill any of it. Pumping it up on the table. Well, it's the weekend, so I don't have class. And it's actually my weekend not to work, so I'm completely free. If you want me to talk to Divith about this portal, get you guys back, I can.
I don't think we'll say no.
There is a lot more reading I want to do, but at the same time, I also don't want to abandon our friends back in Albion. But it'd be really nice to meet your betrothed and not have him run away, blushing.
Yeah.
Can we take the meeting at like lunch or something? Because there's a few things I would like to try.
Okay.
Dude.
Yeah. I'll go talk to him this morning and see about bringing him over for lunch. I think he's working at the sandwich shop, so it may be easiest to just meet back there for lunch.
That works.
Will you remember how to get there?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody here remembers better than I do.
Okay. Well, sounds like a plan then. So, dig into some
All right.
breakfast and see where the day takes us.
And then we have a cram session ahead of us. After we find some hangover food, which Adea's never had to go looking for before, but she will find Greek hangover food if she can.
Okay. Sounds good. I think we're gonna end there today, just because it's 10 o'clock here, and I want to make sure I get to sleep before work.